You're not crazy. Let me say that again. You are not crazy, but someone in your life may be working very hard to make you believe that you are. You are not crazy. There's a form of psychological manipulation so subtle, so insidious, that its victims often have no idea it's happening. They question their own memories. They doubt their own perceptions. They start to believe that maybe, just maybe, they really are the problem. This is gaslighting, and it's far more common than you think. The term comes from a 1944 film, where a husband slowly drives his wife to the brink of madness by dimming the gas lights in their home, and then denying that anything has changed. The first step to recovery is recognizing the abuse. Today, we're going to dissect the psychology behind this dark manipulation tactic. We'll explore how gaslighters operate, why certain people become targets, and most importantly, how to reclaim your reality. Because your perception matters. Your feelings are valid. And by the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge to protect yourself. Reality theft. Imagine waking up every day in a world where the ground keeps shifting beneath your feet, where the things you clearly remember happening are denied, where the emotions you feel are dismissed as overreactions. This is the daily experience of a gaslighting victim. Your reality is being stolen from you piece by piece. Gaslighting is not just lying. It goes far deeper than that. It's a systematic dismantling of someone's trust in their own mind. Psychologist Dr. Robin Stern, who wrote The Gaslight Effect, describes it as a form of emotional abuse that causes the victim to question their own feelings, instincts, and sanity. The gaslighter doesn't just want to deceive you about a single fact. They want you to stop trusting yourself entirely. They want to become your only source of truth. Control your mind. Think about how terrifying that is. When you can't trust your own perception, you become completely dependent on someone else to tell you what's real. And that's exactly what the gaslighter wants. But how do we come to understand this phenomenon? Let's explore its dark origins. The gaslight origin. The term gaslighting has a fascinating and disturbing history. It comes from the 1938 British play Gaslight, later adapted into the classic 1944 film starring Ingrid Bergman. In the story, a husband named Gregory manipulates his wife Paula into believing she's going insane. If I am mad, what am I to do? He hides objects and tells her she moved them. He makes noises in the attic and claims she's imagining things. Most notably, he dims the gas lights in their home, causing them to flicker, and when Paula notices, he insists nothing has changed. She must be seeing things. Night after night, reality becomes a question rather than a certainty. Gregory's goal was to have Paula declared insane so he could steal her inheritance. The perfect crime requires the perfect victim, but his methods revealed something profound about human psychology, how vulnerable we are when someone we trust systematically denies our experience. This fictional scenario opened our eyes to a very real pattern of abuse. And here's the chilling part. What happens next shows how gaslighters choose their victims. Target selection. Why do gaslighters choose certain people? It's not random. In fact, the qualities that make someone a good person often make them the perfect target. Your empathy becomes their weapon against you. Research shows that gaslighters typically target people who are empathetic, trusting, and conscientious. People who genuinely want to understand others. People who are willing to examine their own behavior. People who care about being fair. Ironic, isn't it? The very qualities we value as signs of emotional intelligence become vulnerabilities in the wrong relationship. Empathy becomes weakness. Dr. George Simon, a clinical psychologist specializing in manipulation, notes that gaslighters look for people who naturally give others the benefit of the doubt. If you're someone who thinks, maybe they're right, maybe I am being too sensitive, you're exactly who a gaslighter is looking for. They also target people going through difficult transitions, new jobs, new cities, recent losses, when self-doubt is already elevated. Isolated, because isolated people have fewer reality checks, fewer people to say, no, you're not crazy. I saw that too, but the selection is just the beginning. The real manipulation follows a specific pattern. The 3 stages. Gaslighting doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds in three distinct stages, each one pulling the victim deeper into confusion. Dr. Robin Stern identified these as disbelief, defense, and depression. In stage 1, disbelief, something feels off but you brush it aside. Your partner says you never mentioned dinner plans. You're sure you did, but maybe you forgot, it seems small. No big deal. Stage 2 is defense. Now the incidents are piling up. You find yourself constantly explaining your perspective, trying to prove you're not crazy. You spend all your energy defending your own reality. You keep records, you take screenshots, you replay conversations in your head. You're exhausting yourself trying to prove what you already know to be true. Stage 3, depression, is where the gaslighter wins. Maybe I really am too sensitive. Maybe I am the problem. You've stopped trusting yourself. You feel hopeless, confused, and completely dependent on the gaslighter for validation. This is the most dangerous stage. But what exactly are they doing to get you there? The tactics are remarkably consistent. The denial trap. The first and most common gaslighting tactic is blatant denial. That never happened. You heard them say something hurtful. You saw them do something. But when you bring it up, they look at you with genuine confusion. I never said that. You're imagining things. That literally never happened. What makes this so destabilizing is the confidence. They're not nervous or shifty. They seem absolutely certain. And because you're a reasonable person who knows that memory isn't perfect, you start to wonder, did that really happen the way I remember? Research on false memories shows that our recollections are indeed imperfect and susceptible to suggestion. Gaslighters exploit this scientific reality. They know that if they deny something firmly enough, you'll begin to doubt yourself. Your reasonable self-doubt becomes their greatest advantage. They might even add details that didn't happen, slowly rewriting history until their version becomes the official story. The denial is rarely isolated. It comes paired with something equally destructive. They make your feelings the problem. Emotional dismissal, perhaps the cruelest gaslighting tactic, is the systematic dismissal of your emotions. You're being too sensitive. You're overreacting. You're being dramatic. You're too emotional. Stop making such a big deal out of nothing. These phrases are designed to make you feel ashamed of having feelings at all. And the manipulation is insidious because sometimes we are overly sensitive. Sometimes we do overreact. Maybe they're right, but here's the difference. In a healthy relationship, someone might say, I hear that you're upset, but I see it differently. They acknowledge your experience before offering their perspective. A gaslighter skips straight to invalidation. Your feelings aren't just different from theirs, they are wrong. They're evidence of your problem. Your feelings become proof of your instability. Over time, you learn to suppress your emotional responses. You second-guess every feeling before expressing it. You become emotionally numb, which is exactly what makes the next tactic so effective. Shifting blame. Watch closely when you try to address a gaslighter's behavior. Something fascinating happens. The conversation turns completely around. Suddenly, you're the one apologizing. Deflection. I wouldn't have done that if you hadn't. You made me react that way. This is really your fault for being so. Every attempt to hold them accountable becomes an examination of your flaws. Psychologists call this DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. The gaslighter denies the behavior, attacks your character for bringing it up, and then reverses the roles so that they are the victim and you're the aggressor. It's masterful manipulation. Your valid concerns become evidence of your cruelty. You came into the conversation hurt. You leave it apologizing, and the original issue, never addressed. After enough of these interactions, you stop bringing things up at all, which leads us to something gaslighters deliberately cultivate: total isolation. The isolation web. Gaslighters understand that other people are dangerous. Other people can validate your perceptions. Other people can see what's happening. So gaslighters systematically cut you off. Alone you fall. It starts subtly. Your friend Sarah seems toxic. Your family doesn't really understand you. I'm the only one who truly gets you. They position themselves as your sole source of support while simultaneously undermining every other relationship in your life. Isolation is the gift wrapping on abuse. They might create conflicts between you and loved ones, tell each side different stories, make you too embarrassed to share what's happening at home. Without witnesses, your reality has no backup. The research is clear. Isolated individuals are far more susceptible to influence and control. Without external reality checks, the gaslighter's version of events becomes the only version. You quite literally have no one to tell you that you're not crazy. But here's the crucial question. Why do they do this? What drives someone to systematically dismantle another person's sanity? The gaslighter mind. Understanding why gaslighters gaslight doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help you recognize them earlier. Inside the manipulator's mind, most gaslighters have certain personality patterns. Many show narcissistic traits, an inflated sense of self-importance combined with deep fragility. They cannot tolerate being wrong because it threatens their entire self-image. Never wrong, always right. Others have antisocial tendencies, a lack of empathy that allows them to manipulate without remorse. Some learned these behaviors in childhood, watching one parent gaslight the other. It became their template for relationships. Dr. Stephanie Sarkis notes that gaslighters often feel powerless in other areas of life. Controlling you becomes their way of feeling significant. Your confusion is their sense of control. People who gaslight need to be right more than they need to be truthful. But here's what matters most. Regardless of their motivations, their behavior is unacceptable. Understanding them doesn't mean accepting them. It means recognizing the warning signs, and more importantly, knowing how to break free, reclaiming reality. So how do you escape the gaslighting fog? How do you reclaim your reality? Freedom. First, trust your body. Your gut feelings, your anxiety, your sense that something is wrong, these are data. Your nervous system knows before your conscious mind does. Your body keeps the score, even when your mind doubts. Second, document everything. Keep a private journal. Save messages. Have a trusted friend you can share events with in real time. Create external records of your reality. Third, reconnect with your support network. The people the gaslighter tried to cut you off from, reach back out. You need witnesses to your life. Fourth, seek professional help. A therapist who understands emotional abuse can help you rebuild trust in your own perceptions. The most powerful thing you can do is believe yourself. And finally, recognize that leaving may be the only option. Some gaslighters never change. Your mental health is worth more than any relationship. You deserve truth. Your reality matters. Your feelings are valid. You are not crazy. Throughout this exploration, we've seen how gaslighting operates in the shadows, denying, dismissing, deflecting, and isolating. It's a form of psychological warfare waged against your sense of self. But here's what I want you to take away. Awareness is the first step to protection. Now that you understand these tactics, they have less power over you. The gaslighter's greatest weapon is your ignorance. Once you can name what's happening, once you can see the patterns, you begin to reclaim your reality. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Trust yourself. Your memories are real. Your feelings matter. Your perception is valid. And if someone in your life is consistently making you doubt these fundamental truths, that tells you everything you need to know about them, not about you. Trust your truth. The fog will lift. The confusion will clear. And on the other side, you'll find something the gaslighter tried to destroy: your unshakable trust in yourself. Welcome to the Psyche Project. If this helped you understand gaslighting, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe for more insights into the human psyche.